Hello and welcome to the Dolby House. So as you've probably already noticed, for those of you who haven't been in a previous session, we are surrounded by sound here. So we have some loudspeakers in the front, in the side next to you, and over your head. In total, we have 16 speakers around you, and we're showcasing for 2 days artists whose music is mixed and produced this way, using this full immersive spectrum. And one of these artists who is not just releasing his music in Atmos, but is actually involved in the production and in the mixing and works in his own Dolby Atmos equipped studio here in the Netherlands, is Joshua JDX. Please welcome to the stage JDX. Hello. Where did we get your microphone? You have your microphone.
In my back pocket.
A real pro. Okay.
Should have brought my glasses.
Yeah, it's a little bit
Don't see anybody.
hard. Yeah, you should brought sunglasses.
Is there anybody?
Yeah. Yes, of course. Good. Thank you so much for joining us. I spoiled it a little bit. You have your own studio equipped with Dolby Atmos and are working in this format in a lot of different genres, and you brought us quite a few different tracks showcasing the whole area of very different types of music that you're working in. And we will get to all of that, but I think let's probably start a little bit chronological, start with your origins. What were your first musical inspirations? What really got you into working full-time with music?
That is a pretty long story, but I'll try to be as quick as possible.
Oh, we have some time. We are the last session for today. So.
From an early age, I started as a classical pianist.
Yeah.
Very much grew up with a lot of psychedelic rock. I'm from '76, so that's the good music. No. And then in the '90s, the house was the first time I heard house music, which was completely different from all the difficult measurements and classical music, of course. That's where it started with the house. Into hardcore, actually in '94 I started as a hardcore DJ, messing around with samplers and stuff like that. But always went back to my roots from like Steve Vai, like very Dream Theater, the symphonic rock side of things. Always struggling what to do, what to become, and what not.
So you played in bands like that?
Yes,
as well?
I had an old band. I also did like wedding bands.
Okay. So piano, so like the keys.
It's you learn a lot from it. Yeah. Always because of the classical music and the symphonic rock music, it was always the passion that collides very good with film music. And I combine that with like the harder sound, so it's a broad spectrum of music styles, which I love.
I also feel hardstyle has a bit of a cinematic element to it, right? I mean, you have the kick that is, of course, defining everything, but I always feel it has a bit of like these other layers on top of it. So is that maybe one of the reasons why you kept working a lot in this genre?
The cinematic style into the hardstyle, I think I did it myself because I always try to be difficult. Making music from a feeling, but I think because of the work I've done, do a lot for events like Q-dance, I could incorporate the film music together with the harder sounds, even if it's like Thunderdome, hardcore show music with hardstyle. I got actually very inspired to have done a remix for Ghost Stories and Deep Look and Estefan. And I went, that was the time you guys came with the Atmos stuff, to go full throttle on the cinematic style in the hardstyle.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, normally it's like, hard leads, bang, bang, pretty easy. But I wanted to make music that I like to do. So I just started making more cinematic hardstyle, let's call it that.
I think some of your tracks that you brought fit that genre pretty well.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to listen to them in a bit. Maybe before we dive into all these different tracks that you brought, of course, let's talk a bit about you. You built your own studio with Dolby Atmos in 2022. When did you hear? How did you learn about that? There is a thing called Dolby Atmos that can be used for music.
When you never sleep and then scrolling on fucking YouTube, you come across a lot of nerd shit. Yes, I do a lot of nerd shit. Now I saw Andrew Sheps actually. Andrew Sheps doing like a question and answer thing, and then I saw Dolby Atmos for music. And I was like, wait a minute, I need to have this. And it was basically in the kind of the end of the Corona time.
Yeah,
everybody was locked up, so they were like fully experimenting with the Dolby Atmos. And through some friends, I got in contact with you guys, and I said, let's do this properly and calibrate my unit studio as best as possible, which was a crazy story because I did it all wrong.
No, of course, when we came, we had to spend a long day, but that's always the case. But then I think it sounds pretty great. And so, what was then your first? They like, okay, I left, and I said, okay, here's your studio. Then what was next? What did you actually do?
The idea that I started actually Planet X, that's then the hardstyle label side under Scantraxx. Yeah. To have because I already knew I'm not the mainstream JDX hardstyle sound so much anymore. So I just wanted to create a little like a sub-label category so I can do my own thing. That together with the cinematic sound. At the same time that I was working in Atmos, I was like, okay, from now on, I'm only gonna release in Dolby Atmos. I mean, it's just all the stuff I saw coming by, the information about how to deal with immersive sound, because that's basically what it is, just blew my mind. It was also like brain cracking, because you're so used to make your best mix in stereo, but then suddenly you have. I started with 7.1.4, and now I upgraded to the 9.1.6. But the concept stays the same: placing certain sounds or feelings through sound in a spot, which is crazy. It's also on a technical level, but let's not go too deep on the technical level. Like with phase and EQs and stuff like that. I was struggling with the first one, and I think maybe you can hear it in the first track. Because there was no reference as well, you know, I was just messing around in the studio with that amazing setup, with a lot of Dolby Atmos tracks, but then in regular music, not in the harder sound, which is more complex to maintain the punchiness of the kick and the flow and everything else. And then, of course, you struggle with minus 18 dB, which kind of sucks. I just want to go as loud as possible. But yeah, you need to find a balanced ground to at least be accepted on the portal, because that's the whole point. So it got better.
When you're working on tracks now, because obviously there are still some people that don't hear Dolby Atmos and that are maybe on services that are just stereo. So you still need to deliver a stereo as well. How do you go with that? Is the Dolby Atmos mix your first mix and you go from there to the stereo version?
Good thing you say that, because lately we noticed while doing actually a movie score to mix the Atmos first. And then do the stereo. Yeah, I found it more easier, in a way. Nowadays, 3 years ago, that was not really possible, in my opinion. Especially because you make it in a stereo vibe, and then you bounce it, and then you work to make it in Atmos. But I'm experimenting a lot, especially when the setup is better and the computers are running better. And also the incorporation of having the Dolby Atmos renderer or the built-in renderer in your DAW.
Yes.
I can create in Dolby Atmos, which is a completely different thing than create music on the stereo field and then bounce it out and then think, okay, now I'm going to make some Atmos mix. I think the other way is better. You make different decisions when you are able to work in Atmos. And of course, I understand, because not everybody has a big setup speakers in the studio to work with.
But of course, you also can work in Dolby Atmos on headphones, and one of the ways that are important as well for people to hear Atmos is headphones. How are you dealing with that? Like, are you toggling between the loudspeaker setup and then putting up headphones, or how do you deal with that? And what challenges do you see there?
Yeah, a lot of challenges, because every time I do it on the headphone, it's kind of, okay, I have to do this because people, 80% probably, will just hear it on the AirPods. You explained to me what the big difference was coming out of the streaming platform with normal headphones, Apple spatial headphones, and the rest. What a big difference that make. And then you still have to make a educated decision to final render the ADM file.
Of course.
Which, yeah, I always find it hard. I just accept the fact that it's gonna sound like this on the headphone as much as possible. I can do. Yeah,
but of course, in the room.
And then again, the algorithm really much changed over the last 3 years, which I was glad about. And then, yeah, I work in Studio One, which has the Dolby render built in as well. I think the other ones now have it too, Logic and Pro Tools as well. Yeah. Messing around in between Nuendo, but it was, yeah, a lot of testing and experiment to get the best result. But my main DAW is Studio One, so I work quicker and better in Studio One. And they did something incredible to do. I think I hit you up. Like, did they do something to the algorithm in Studio One? It sounded way better on the headphones in binaural.
On the binaural algorithm, yeah. I guess it's just that updated Apple spatial algorithm. So again, yeah, you were really a pioneer. You came to it very early in 2022, and that means you were on some of those times when there were still issues in the workflow, and now was fully integrated in Studio One, which is your workstation of choice, anyways. And was having Apple Spatial built in there as well, so you can just put up headphones and check how it sounds there, and all of these little things. I guess nowadays it's much
the
easier.
Regular biodynamics for the regular headphones, but I also bought the Apple Pro shells just to compare. And if you're not in the studio, how would it work if I just sit at home with the laptop, which is pretty much amazing. I can do all my work from the couch. And then go to the studio and then double check it with the system and then make a balanced decision between what's gonna be left over on the headphones or on a setup like this or any setup.
Exactly. So yeah, it works on headphones, but of course it's super special and spectacular when we hear it on 16 speakers. So let's
always better.
Of course. Let's go to your first track, which is Raging Shadows. You said that was the first track you worked on in Atmos. So.
Yeah, I think the track was already made, and then I said, okay, let's do all the mixes in Atmos, and then do the first release on the new label Planet X in Atmos. Yeah, that was a struggle because I still wanted to stay in the Studio One, and then it was not built in yet, so I had to use the Dolby renderer with the music banner and all this messing around.
So that was pioneering work back then?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, let's listen to that. So we could actually go down and listen in the first row and then come back on stage. Yeah, maybe that's easier than sitting here in front of the center. So let's do that, and we come back in a couple of minutes when we played that first song, Raging Shadows. Great.
Very cool.
So, yeah, actually the next song we want to show is You and Me. And here we actually have some video footage to go with it.
I have one more thing to say now. I
hear
that with this one I was really struggling with the leads are really stacked sawtooth.
Yes.
And I had really issues to get the face aligning right with the frontal speakers in the side. It's so weird. But yeah, because it's so loud, you don't really hear it. But I was really struggling with that. And then one more thing, because you're trying to figure stuff out in the DAW you work in, with a music style that is nobody doing. Online, there's a lot of information, but mostly is rock music.
Okay.
With natural sounds, or recorded drums, or recorded guitars and vocals, you know. And then it was also different because now I hear the vocal really loud in the middle, and I think Universal had something like a rule to not put certain things in the middle. And I was like, yeah, but why do we got that fucking middle speaker? Let's use it. But it's funny to hear, because I haven't heard it.
I think on this track it's good to have it quite in the middle, because you need that space on the left and right for that lead, and so
and the other thing was the track is in D, and nobody or a lot of people don't make hardstyle gigs in a D. It's very low. Yeah, like Hans Zimmer always said, I like to write in D. So do I. So you were struggling with the low end and then the phasiness of the synth, but just a little add-on.
But I think you managed. I mean, it's very nice. So
yeah, I'm happy.
Let's listen to You and Me, and I mean, there's great visuals as well.
Yeah, we did a little visualizer and some, I think
some footage.
Some footage from the performance on DEFCON 1.
Yeah. So you also play live, or?
Yes, as much I love to DJ, but also I more love to play stuff.
Yeah, it looks
if
great.
If you can combine it with the DJ set. This was, I think it was a special one as well. It was like an experimental stage on the UV. And I think that's the day I brought the whole drum kit and people and guitars and just fun stuff around the hardstyle. But just bringing the vocalist for each track on stage, it just makes the performance more cooler, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Let's have a look and a listen.
Thomas.
Oh, okay.
Special one.
Yeah. What was that? In memory of?
Thomas, a very good friend of my other very good friend, the Prophet.
Okay.
Produced for almost 10, 12 years, and suddenly passed away. So that little cheers with the limoncello.
Okay. Him. I think it's a good...
Very good producer, well known in the hardstyle.
Well, I think it's a very nice video to remember. So definitely.
I haven't seen that one in a long time. So yeah, then you can see all the crazy shit I do.
Exactly.
I'm like sometimes too much, but it's cool to see, and all the friends and the music and the work that goes into to actually be able to do that. That is how I look at it right now.
I think in a moment like this is where really this music is meant to be heard, right? And with this massive crowd and everybody partying together. So
yeah, that is definitely different, because you just sit in a studio and then try to make a new record or something, and then to be able to perform it for so many people on stage, and then for so many people being there, that's just undescribable.
But let's jump to something completely different, because interestingly, you mentioned it a few times, you also work in scoring. And obviously, scoring is something where, of course, I mean, all the movies and Netflix shows, everything is done in Dolby Atmos. So scoring and immersive audio is also something that goes hand in hand. And you do both of that. So you've been scoring for pretty much your whole career?
Yes and no. I've been living in LA also for a long time, trying to be the film composer. But yeah, on the side, my main work was creating show music for Climax, Sensation, DEFCON, those big events. So that kept me alive in LA. But slowly to try some independent movies, help people out, and just to make music with picture is just awesome. I always found it like, wow, that's another thing than just making music or playing with a band, which is also very cool. But just to look at a picture and create music for every movement or whatever happens or characters, I found that very special.
Yeah. And you brought us a piece from a documentary. I have to look up the name.
Yeah, we recently did a documentary for Titi Asse, It was 100 years of TT Asse. Worked together for Dutch Angle TV. And we got the opportunity, together with my friend Lode, to do the film score.
Yeah.
100 minutes of documentary of 100 years in TTS. A very special one, because I have no clue about motorcycles. But then when you watch the documentary, it's like, okay, shit, that's dope. It's since the 1900s on a bike, and that became... Yeah, and Asse is apparently the best racetrack for motorcycles. And we were lucky to do the music for the whole documentary. So I just took a snippet, because, again, everything I release, I want to do it in Atmos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a little longer. It's twice, maybe 3 times more work, but I don't care. I want all my music only in Atmos. So,
so you again worked on the Atmos session on the whole time, not mixing afterwards?
Yeah, we had to mix afterwards. But while working, we already think about, okay, let's strip everything separate, all the violins, all the whole orchestral part, the synths, and then we'll figure it out later how to make the Atmos mix.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we did it. And then the whole album is also on Apple Music.
Cool. Yeah, let's
now
have
I
a
think
listen.
it's a little snippet, a wonderful day of racing.
Wonderful day of racing in Dolby Atmos. Let's have a listen. Yeah. Cool, nice.
Yeah, nice and short.
Yeah, very nice, and obviously very cinematic. But I could kind of recognize your way of working from the other titles. So obviously, even if working in a very different genre.
Yeah.
But you have been like working in also the orchestral genre for a long time, right? Always next to your.
I always try to incorporate. Yeah, I was lucky again. Like, want to be a film composer in a time in 2003, 4. And then you're struggling, okay, how can I survive just of making music? And then the other part is, I want to be JDX. And the other part is, I want to be a producer engineer, and then do many things at the same time. But I was like, okay, just keep going, doing everything as much as possible. And then you will find out a way. I was lucky to meet up at the right time, with the right people, with Q-dance and ADE, to do little glimpse of shows, intro shows for hardstyle events. And that turned into full composing around 2006 for Climax. And that was my opportunity to create from scratch, not chopped audio from film tracks, and put a voice over, and then recreate a magnificent show, but compose the music. And that basically became my work for a long time, into sensation, and then to with sensation. For me, it was like, okay, then it's maybe not a film, but I do see it as a theater, and it's the same stress, the same heavy production, and I still could combine actually film music with harder sounds, or Climax was really dark, so we can dark and hard and raw, and then Sensation was more fairy tale and EDM and trance, yeah, and then blend that with any cinematic. I don't know, it's always cool in a way.
You brought one of these tracks for us from like a show music. Yeah,
we're gonna end with that, right?
Yeah, with the Defcon. Yeah, but maybe before we play that one, I think we unfortunately again I think we could easily talk for another hour.
Couple days.
Yeah, but definitely let's talk again next year. Do we have a couple questions from the audience maybe before we play our last piece?
Is there an audience? Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah, we have a bit of an audience. So
nice.
Question? Yeah, there you go.
How did you come up with the idea? Oh, yeah. How did you come up with the idea for the open airbed concerts at the Defcon?
I didn't come up with the idea. I think before I did it, I think the hardstyle pianist also something like with a wagon and played the classical music. And then I wanted to do something special yeah, and then it was like, because I improvise a lot, and then to combine hardstyle side of me, but then bringing some friends on stage became something cool for the Sunday morning. And we keep doing that now for the last 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very,
Very special.
special.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yeah.
it is.
There's one more question. Yeah.
Hi, it's not necessarily about how you came up with the music or anything, but you mentioned back in around 03, 04 and stuff, you wanted to do so many things, which is quite like myself right now. I want to do the DJing, I want to do the production side, event management, and all this stuff. But
Stay away.
from which, yeah. So my question is like, how did you make those connections with Q-dance, ID&T? Did you know the guys before, or were you going to like networking stuff, or yeah?
Yeah, in a way, it did go back a little bit because I started in the hardcore as a hardcore DJ in '94. That's how I got in contact with ID&T first, because they were doing the Thunderdome and all that stuff. So I knew some people, but yeah, then there was a gap after the fall of the hardcore into slowly the hard style, hard house. And I knew you were able to play free at Q-dance parties. I think it was on the beach and Club Tempo. Yeah, I said, okay, no more party, no more party guy. Now set up a company, create a record label, the business cards, and then go there and find your contacts or wait so you can give your CD or record. That's how we did it.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think unfortunately we are at time. So what we should do is we play that. So we kind of end the session and play that last track to yeah. Let's say we end on a bang. I would say it's quite impressive. A couple of words you want to say about that last piece? About
Yeah, first
show
of all,
music?
thank you. I could add one more thing. I had to
Yes,
skip 2
of course.
tracks because
Yeah.
first I only had 5 JDX tracks, but then he mentioned about, but you also do different stuff, and it's kind of nice to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was right. I only uploaded already all the other stuff. So quickly, I did the last DEF CON show. DEF CON is huge. It's 4 days. Every day we got some magnificent show, but the Saturday end show is very special. And in this case, I had to make an intro again before the whole half-hour show. So I was able to find some ambience mics of the pyro and the imaging of the video, of course. And I just did a quick Atmos to present it here.
Of course, I think it's a very nice way to end the session. So thank you very much. For being
Thank you.
here. Absolutely. Speak again soon. Thank you all for joining on this very special hardstyle in Dolby Atmos session, and enjoy the DEF CON show music.
That was awesome.
Good. Enjoy the rest of ADE, everyone. And again, thanks for coming. Thank you, JDX.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you,
soon.
Paul.
Bye-bye.